Hello and welcome everyone, we Weeb Online, and today I'm gonna start a new series, What If Kid Naruto Had Infinite Abilities, Part 1. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
Alright, yelled a very enthusiastic blonde as he looked at an identical blonde in front of him. I got Cage bunching down on my first try. Things are finally looking up for old Naruto. Mizuki still has an hour to arrive here, so I guess I'll learn a few more jutsus while I'm at it, murmured one very pleased Naruto after dispelling the clone who was being emo about not being summoned for anything fun. Now let's see this next jutsu. Life is a game no jutsu. There's a note attached to it, maybe this will help me understand it. Hello fellow ninja, I as the 4th Hokage have one thing to request. If you want to learn this jutsu, please, for the love of fucking Kami, do not use this damn jutsu please. Come on, just keep reading. Ito Tensei is a little farther ahead. Use that who wouldn't want their own personal zombie army. Come on, you know you want to. At the end of the note was a crudely drawn picture of the 4th Hokage that seemed to be colored in with crayon. I may not be smart, but I'm pretty sure a zombie equals undead, which equals ghosts. So fuck that shit, shuddered Naruto as he thought of the only thing that can manage to scare him. Ghosts? Hey, Goku is scared of needles, so don't judge him. Good thing this only has one hand seal, our favorite blonde thought as he put his hands in the bore sign. Life is a game no jutsu. And nothing happened. What the hell? Well, that sucked. I still have 45 minutes, so. Next, yelled the blonde as he continued reading the scroll. Action replay no jutsu. Sweet, maybe I can control time. That'd make me Hokage even faster. Naruto then began to notice another note not unlike the one before, which, if someone were to ask him, still seemed too much for a non-working jutsu. If you are reading this, just use your blood, break the seal on the scroll to release the objects. This will be completely useless unless you use the previous jutsu, which you didn't write. After all, you would not disobey your Hokage, right? Naruto began to sweat, knowing my luck you probably did. DMNIT. If you are reading this, Naruto, you are a very bad boy. Listen to your father when he tells you not to do apocalyptic jutsus. Naruto would have dropped the scroll right then and there if the whole experience didn't seem so unreal. And if this isn't Naruto, fuck you. You've killed us all. I can only hope that I die before your dumbass use that jutsu. After getting over his shock and preparing a lot of questions he will want answered when he next sees his pseudo-grandpa, Naruto unsealed the objects, which appeared to be a crimson ring and an empty white book. Now if you unsealed the object, put the ring on your right middle finger and channel chakra into the book. The book will be a strategy guide for you to refer to in your future battles and will help you prepare for each fight that may happen in the future. Sofai's book can see into the future. That's pretty cool, I guess, but what about the ring? You're probably wondering about the ring now. Well, after you put it on, the ring will not disappear no matter what you do. It has now bonded to you for life. What the ring does is once you snap your fingers, you will be able to pause reality and gain access to all of the cheats available to you. Cheats will give you the ability to do anything, so have fun. The rest you must figure out yourself. Good luck. Well, I guess it is time to turn the scroll into Mizuki. But I still have a few minutes, might as well find out who I'm fighting first. I bet it's Sasuke team, Naruto yelled excitedly as he opened the now orange book with his name on it. Naruto, Chapter 1, The Unveiled Secret. Opponent, Mizuki. Stats, 500 HP, 135 chakra. Skills, Windmill Shuriken Toss, Taunt. Player support characters, Iruka. Stats, 500 horsepower, 100 chakra. Skills, Windmill Shuriken Toss, Protect. Player, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto rose an eyebrow at that. He is definitely getting answers. DMNIT. Stats, 200 HP, 750 chakra. Skills, Cage Bunshin, Regeneration. Advise. It is advised to let Iruka fight until he uses Protect to save the player, which will immobilize him for the remainder of the battle, allowing the player to spam clones and finish the battle. Naruto blinked as he read the page, but that means Mizuki betrayed me, and what's this? Iruka gets immobilized trying to save me. No, not this time. Naruto's eyes shone with determination. I won't let Iruka get hurt because of me, the blonde stated as he raised his right hand. Snap. Everything froze as the blonde was suddenly faced with a list of cheats for him to use. He began to cycle through them and picks the cheats he wants. Max Charm check. Max Strength check. Max Defense check. Max Luck check. Max Dexterity check. Max Intelligence check. Max Speed check. HP 9999 check. Infinite Chakra check. All Naruto's jutsu unlock check. Yes, I mean all of his jutsus and abilities. Are these cheats okay? Yes. Snap. Naruto currently was bombarded with powers and knowledge, and when it was done, the only 3 words that would be able to accurately tell how he felt would be Oh hells yes, the blonde roared just as Iruka entered the clearing. Naruto, how could you steal the forbidden scroll? Iruka admonished. Naruto looked towards then above him at the tree branch Mizuki just landed on and smirked. Your ass is grass team and I quotem the mower tebeo. What are you talking about, Naruto? What does Mizuki have to do with this? Asked a startled Iruka as he looked at his favorite student. Turns out Mizuki lied to me and was going to betray us by taking this scroll. He has another thing coming if he believes that shit though, replied Naruto as he set a stony gaze upon Mizuki, who just laughed at him. Oh, and what are you going to do about it, demon brat? Mizuki sneered as he saw Naruto's eyes widen. Yeah, that's right, everyone hates you because you are the Kyuubi. What? Naruto asked in disbelief. Bet you didn't know thaw. No you noob, I meant was that the best you could come up with. I mean it was kind of obvious if you look at everything I have been through, came the monotone voice of Naruto as he stepped towards Mizuki and started forming a Rasengan in his right hand. Now as I said before, your ass is grass and the motherfucking mower Rasengan. Naruto yelled as he leaped at Mizuki, who stared at him in horror. -2000. Naruto wins. WW hat just happened. Iruka couldn't help but stutter at the large amount power behind the famous technique. Nothing, just some grinding. Guess I am 21337 for him. Well, I guess I'll see you next year, sensei. Naruto told his teacher as he turned around and headed home. No Naruto, I think you deserve this, Iruka said as he took off his headband and handed it to Naruto, who looked at him shocked. Naruto obtained Konoha leaf headband key item. Thank you, Naruto started as he began to cry. About 4 minutes later. That shit never happened. Okay Iruka, I'd hate to have Konoha lose a good chunin like yourself, Naruto told his sensei in complete seriousness. Okay Iruka could not help the sweat drop that appeared behind his head. No, let's go take you to Hokage-sama. Listen, I'm not going to do this scene without it sounding like at least 100 other ones from other fics, so I'm going to skip this shit. Naruto got his inheritance confirmed and learned that he isn't the fox but that it was sealed in him. Later that night at his apartment. So this headband was a key item. Well, if something like this allowed me to continue the game, I might as well get the rest, Naruto thought to himself. Snap. All key items. Check. Snap. Holy shyt, that's a big scroll, Naruto thought as he looked at possibly the biggest scroll he has ever seen. But what does it do? Better check the guide. Key item. Kyuubi's key can be obtained after fighting and defeating Akatsuki leader Pain. It allows player to fight Kyuubi in order to gain its power. The fight can only be activate once Naruto has obtained a state where he is free of darkness. Naruto must go to Kumo in order to free himself of hatred. Well, fuck Kumo, last I heard they were eye thieves, and Naruto Uzumaki Namu whatever does not join people who steal little girls' eyes ... And it's a long ass trip, Naruto muttered the last part under his breath. So it's time to do what every ninja does best. Cheat. Snap. No darkness, Naruto check. Snap. Okay, time to activate the boss battle, Naruto yelled before grabbing the scroll and blacking out in front of Kyuubi's cage. Oh look, the omnipotent demon that fucked my life over his sleeping, came the sarcastic remark of our hero. Oh well, might as well check the guide for this fight so I know what I'm up against. Opponent, Kyuubi no Kitsune. Stats, 99.999 HP 99. 999 chakra. Abilities, Menacing Ball, Roar, Fire Stream, Claw Swipe, being big as hell. Support character Naruto rose an eyebrow at this, he's the only one in his brain right. Kushina Uzumaki. Stats, 30, horsepower 60,000 chakra. Abelites, chakra chains. Advised for battle. Fight Kyuubi in Sage mode and wait for Kushina to use chains to trip it, then finish it with a Rasen Shuriken. Well, let's get started, Naruto thought to nobody as he entered Sage mode and walked up to Cage while putting a flaming hand on his seal. Yo Bugs Bunny, wake the fuck up. Not being one to appreciate being called a bunny, the almighty Kyuubi jumped and looked around for the insolent person who dared to interfere with its sleep. You dare awaken the mighty Kyuubi? Why, Naruto could swear the fox almost cried a little. Naruto winced a little, that must have been one good fucking nap. Like him, Naruto started as he opened the cage door to PWN some noobs. Meanwhile in Kumo, the Hachibi winced inside its host, someone just called the strongest being on the planet the worst thing ever. He could only pray the dumbass could live to tell him the story one day. Back in Cage, you dare call me a noob? Betch, I've been doing this shit for years. Do you see my stats? Aw hell no, bring it. Betch. The Kyuubi launched at its host in a blind fury as Naruto wondered if he fucked up. Shit, Naruto yelled as he hit the dirt while the Kyuubi jumped over him. As he looked at the Kyuubi, who left itself open to a direct hit, he realized there was only one thing to do. Filler moves. Udama Rasen Shuriken. Naruto yelled as he threw the oversized move at the fox's underside. 1 million. Flawless victory. Naruto wins. Platinum trophy unlocked. The Nine-Tailed Stunner. Hidden character S unlocked. Minato and Kushina are now able to help you in battle. Welcome back to the world of the living, you two heroes. Abilities unlocked. Golden Fox Cloak. Now time to do something about this guy. Well, I can't just let it die no matter what it caused me. It would be better if I got the full story of why it attacked. Naruto stated as he pulled out key items Sakura's soldier pills and put some of the pills into the giant mouth of the fox. About 2 minutes later, mind telling me why you fed me that nasty ass shit? The utterly perplexed fox asked its jailer. Well, I couldn't just let you die. Figured I would hear your story on why you attacked and take action depending on the answer. The blonde told the now dumbfounded fox. You will listen to my story. At the blonde's nod she began. About 15 minutes later. So you've been basically enslaved ever since you first met this Madara. At her nod he continued. Well, that is just dumb. What fucking noob tries to control demons instead of befriending them? They are more reliable that way. Sigh noobs these days. Suddenly the fox began to cry. Finally someone understood after all these years. Kyuubi was then enveloped in a bright light as Naruto had to shield his eyes. By showing compassion to the Kyuubi player, Naruto has unlocked support character Fem. Kyuubi would character like to keep or change name. Change. To what? Akane. Kyuubi's social link went up to 10/10. She will now die for you. Can anyone guess where this is from? I'll give you a cookie if you can. Bonus skill Kyuubi summon. Once that was over, Naruto could only look at crying naked redhead that was hugging onto him for dear life. He was cut off by what the Kyuubi said to him next. Thank you Naruto-sama, I'll serve you in any way, for you have finally made the hate go away in my heart, she said with a lecherous smirk and held him tighter. Suddenly something snapped in Naruto, who wasn't sure if it was the years of being unloved or the hormones, but if one were to ask him later he would say that he regrets nothing. Hour and 30 minutes later, Naruto was suddenly awakened from the bed he shared with Akane in his mind by a scream. As he looked up he saw a shell-shocked redhead and a passed-out blonde man whose face was in a pool of blood. Well, Naruto started, you two are late. That's my boy, the still-down blonde said before his wife kicked him in the kidney. After a very awkward silence we find our hero in the presence of something nobody can beat, no matter how 1337 they are. A pissed-off mother. While Naruto was sure that this person had to be his mother, given how she started kicking his ass yelling about not coming back to be a grandmother, he couldn't help but dislike the man that had to be his father because he was not helping his son out at all. Take it like a man, son. Or that's what you get for using the jutsu after I told you not to, bitch. Yup, one of these days he was gonna show that man why exactly this game is called Naruto. You can believe that, Titabeo bitch. But now he had to regain his bearings because his mom just threw him at a wall. Listen, I can see why you're mad, but we don't have time for this because even though I unlocked you, according to the guide, I can't use you until after Shippuden begins, so you have like 10 minutes before your time runs out and you fade away. Naruto told his parents as his mom finally stopped kicking his ass, and he thought he was pro. Maybe there is a trophy for just lasting as long as he did. There was one, but sadly he couldn't hear the announcement over his screams of terror. So now our young blonde hero is sitting on the bed that is the cause of his pain while trying to figure out what exactly to do for the next 9 minutes as he began to contemplate a voice cut of his ponderings. Well, we might as well do what we were supposed to do, I guess. Minato began on the night of the Kaiju. Told him already, you knew, Akane said as she cut him off. Kicked your ass though, Minato retorted without missing a beat. Seems that's something that runs in the family, eh? Minato asked innocently as he walked over and high-fived his son. Akane glared at Naruto, who could only shrug. It was funny, you gotta admit you kinda asked for that one, he said as he looked at his tenant with benefits. Sigh, well, anyone wants some ramen before we leave for a few more years? Kushina asked as she looked around at the other occupants of the room. One unlimited ramen cheat later. We now find our blonde hero on the way to the academy for his team placements. But as soon as he walked into the room he had to deal with the one thing he hated more than the Kyuubi. Pre-sex, of course. Trolls. Hey Dub, what are you doing here? You didn't graduate, you loser. Naruto rolled his eyes at Kiba and began to respond. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you depend on your puppy so much that you can't even use common sense, and look at the headband on my head. I obviously passed, so sit down and shut the fuck up. Naruto finished his rant as all of the people who listened laughed at Kiba. Naruto then began to keep walking until he spotted Hinata. Figuring he had to do this now rather than later, he walked up and said to her in a voice only she could hear, I know you like me, but it just won't work out. We're two different people. You're rich, I'm not, and I'm pro, you're not. Trust me, you should continue your training so that you won't die, and maybe you will find that person who can really like you. And with that, Naruto continued walking towards his seat next to Sasuke, leaving behind a ninja who would be able to one day call herself a pro. He's right, I will change and just focus on being his friend and a strong kunoichi that will never be looked down upon again. After I kick his ass later for basically calling me a noob. Not cool, Naruto-kun, not cool. Hinata thought to herself as she began planning out a training schedule. Trophy unlocked, breaking the shell. Naruto has given up a chance with Hinata in order to make a stronger ninja out of her. Support character unlocked. Badass Hinata can be accessed at Chunin exams. Hinata social link rank 2/10. She will aid you in battle when needed. As Naruto took his seat, he began to fall asleep, only to be woken up 3 minutes later by a pair of blonde and pink-haired noobs, more accurately described as fangirls. Son of a bitch. Listen, you two, nobody cares who got here first because right now you two are in the tutorial of a grand game name. Naruto, you two are no more than cannon fodder to me at the moment because the game hasn't even reached level 1, so shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Naruto yelled at the girls as they sat down, unable to argue against his glare. You can thank me later, Naruto said as he glanced at Sasuke through the corner of his eye, who smiled in appreciation. Wait, was that a blush? Oh hell will no. Naruto thought in pure unadulterated fear. Before you Sasuke fans get pissed, no, he is not gay, all will be explained later, so calm down and stop the flames. I only bash the enemies, he can't be that way, we're supposed to be secret homies. I'll look at the guide for this one. Uchiha Sasuke is the main antagonist of the game if and only if the player can't unlock his alternate form before the Chunin exams. And true form, a hidden character perhaps. I'll have to be careful with this one, Naruto thought as he tried to figure out what to do about his new dilemma. Sasuke Uchiha social link rank at 10th. Interesting. About 3 hours later, we now see Team 7 waiting for their sensei, who was supposed to be there 2 hours ago, but before Naruto could revert to his old habits of pranking the fuck out of their future sensei, a voice stopped him. My first opinion of you guys is that you're all noobs, meet me on the roof. And with that he disappeared in a poof of smoke, leaving behind 2 confused teens and a pissed of blonde. He did not just steal my thing. Oh hell no, yelled our hero as he ran to the roof with his teammates right behind him. On the roof. Okay, tell me your likes and dislikes, the Cyclops asked his students as he looked at his orange book. Why don't you show us how it's done, sensei? The pinkette asked as she swore she heard her sensei mumble something that sounded like noob. What's a noob? This time she heard her inner self call her one too. Skipping Kakashi's intro. Your turn, Blondie, he stated as he smiled at his new student to fail. The name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Yes, that Namikaze, I know my heritage, so stop sweating, you one-eyed noob. Kakashi glared but kept quiet. I like ramen, the stuff's like crack, I swear. Pro girls and pro female ramen chefs, they make good for NPCs. I can tell you that my dislikes are noobs, non-pros, non-1337s. 10 minutes later, and you. My dream is to beat this game called life and maybe be Hokage for the bonus content. Okay, he has problems, gonna beat his ass for that noob comment though, Kakashi thought before looking at his next student. Your turn, Pinky. I like learning books, and glances at Sasuke, who almost threw up, and blushes at him. She began to giggle. Your dislikes. Hino Pig and Naruto Baka. Like I give a fuck, you're too noob for me, Naruto snorted. Baka? What does that even mean anyway? Noob, that came from Sasuke, who finished his introduction, skipping Kakashi's explanation of the test. Before his teammates could leave the roof, Naruto had other plans. Snap. Teammates, listen to you for a day check. Snap. Okay, here's the plan. You two are 2 weeks, so we're going to head to training ground 44 and grind, and I will not take no for answer, the blonde stated to his teammates, who couldn't help but nod. Okay, let's head out. At the Forest of Death. Snap. XPEX 256 check. Teammates have infinite HP and stamina for 1 day. Check. Ryu X 256 check. Snap. Okay, I'll make pros out of you yet. Naruto cheered as him and his team jumped into the forest. About 8 hours later. Okay, I'll see you two tomorrow and don't forget to eat, Naruto called out to his teammates, who nodded. Well, that went well as Naruto started to walk away, planning things to do with Akane later, before said Vixen stopped him. Hey, aren't you forgetting to get your rewards from leaving the forest? How do I do that, Akane-chan? Just go to the save point at the entrance and select Receive Rewards. What save point? Naruto asked before spotting the flying blue ninja scroll in front of the entrance. Never mind, he finished as he walked towards the scroll. Receive spoils. Yes. Ryu plus 999,999,999. Experience plus 999,999,999. Uchiha Sasuke is now LVL 99. Haruna Sakura is now LVL 99. Uchiha Sasuke social link 9/10. He will now respect you as a human being and lose superiority complex. Haruna Sakura social link 8/10. She now appreciates you and has become a real kunoichi. Holy fuck. Naruto and Akane yelled at the same time. I'm rich bitches. Ah well then. You wanted to show me the new furniture in my mindscape, I can't wait to break it in. Naruto told his tenant as she laughed. Naruto would have to burn his imagined furniture later. Trading Ground 7 next morning. Okay, your goal is to get these bells from me by noon, Kakashi told his team while thinking about how fun it would be to PWN them. That poor soul. And, begin, he yelled before he saw his pink-haired student launch herself into the sky. SHANNARO. As he sidestepped the punch, he could only watch in morbid fascination as it decimated the training ground. Boom. What the fuck was that? Kakashi yelled as he jumped back 70 meters. Tsunade's strength available to Sakura after reaching LVL 30, the blonde answered with a smirk as he pulled out the guide. Chapter 2, Kakashi's Test. Opponent Kakashi Haddock LVL 75. Stats 34,000 HP, 34,000 chakra. Abilities Sharingan, Reikiri, 1,000 plus other jutsus. Advise: there is no winning this battle, just try to last for your part. Sorry guide, but we're going to win this one, the blonde said before putting the book away where Kakashi couldn't tell it just disappeared and turning into his new golden fox cloak. What are you? Kakashi yelled at Naruto. Jinchuriki, Naruto answered before disappearing in a yellow flash, causing Kakashi to have a look of utter disbelief as he suddenly felt like a noob watching the most 1337 support move in the game. As Naruto punched Kakashi in the stomach, he jumped out of the way so that Sasuke could put him in a Genjutsu. Tsukiyomi, Sasuke whispered before Kakashi was suddenly trapped in a world where he was forced to watch his entire porn collection burn over and over again while getting repeatedly kicked in the balls by Tsunade at full force. Naruto walked up and grabbed the bells while Sakura tried to heal their sensei, who was beginning to stir. Here are your bells, guys, Naruto told his team while getting a grateful nod from both of them. When did you learn, Tsukiyomi Sasuke? I got it around LVL 67 last night, and I got M's at LVL 96, so I won't go blind. Here, take the bell back, you deserve it the most, Sasuke stated while trying to give Naruto his bell, but Naruto gave it back. Now after all, you are my teammate and someone I trust to have my back during co-opus, so keep it, it's yours, Naruto told his team before a familiar voice ripped through the skies as the battle finished. Defeat. Items gain +1 Ika can be used to make Kakashi listen to you. Haruno Sakura social link rank 9/10, she will now endure mortal blows. Uchiha Sasuke social link 10/10 max, would you like to reveal alternate form? Remembering what the guide said about Sasuke becoming his enemy, Naruto made his choice. Reveal form. Yes. Fem Sasuke unlocked. If Naruto was a lesser man, he would have passed out right there, for before him stood, instead of his rival, a very fine brunette. Imagine how a 16-year-old Mikoto Wowls look. Even Akane was saying silent thanks that she was bisexual right now. Would you like to rename this character? Rename. Yes. New name, Sasuke. Sasuke could only stare at her teammates in confusion as they jaw dropped. What? Did I get taller? She asked in a higher pitched voice than her male form before looking down. What the foo? She was cut off as Naruto now had begun poking and groping her. Excuse me, she asked as her right eye started twitching. Tell me, she heard Naruto begin to speak, is there any way you can go back to male form? When she shook her head that she didn't think so, his eyes lit up. Well then, me and you are going to Icaracus. Before he could leave the clearing with the confused but blushing brunette in his arms, he was stopped by a familiar voice. WWW, what are you guys? Naruto calmly turned his head and spoke at his now conscious sensei. Your new team, Noob Sensei, Titabayo. We now find our heroes walking toward Wave, getting ready for a journey of legendary proportions. As they kept walking, Naruto looked up from his guide and turned to Sasuke, who was listening to the background music. Yo noobs, at 3 o'clock, Naruto informed her as she nodded. She then tossed an exploding kunai into a puddle which blew up a second later. Bounty collected. Demon Brothers, Ryu plus 100,000. Normally I would question why this mission is obviously not C rank, but after I passed this team I realized I don't give a fuck what happens to them, Kakashi drawled as he flipped to another page while keeping his pace behind Tazuna, who was currently sweating. All we love you to Sensei, chirped a cheerful Pinkette as she continued to listen to the background music. With great power comes great insanity. Yo, doesn't Sakura seem off lately? Sasuke whispered to her blonde teammate, who looked at her and shrugged. Not probably side effect of finally assimilating that other personality in her head, nothing I'm concerned about, Naruto responded as he continued to read his guide before laughing. Oh my kami. What's so funny, Blondie? Tazuna asked the boy in fear of his sanity. Nothing, just Garu trying to take us down with a band of bandits, Naruto answered the man while his teammates shook their heads. Noob. Got that right, Noob Sensei? QI twitch from said sensei. About 2 hours later. So Naruto, how are you going to get Haku and Zabuza to join you? Akane asked as Naruto looked up for a moment. How indeed, but I think I have an idea. Idea about what, Naruto? Sasuke asked as she looked at Naruto. How I'm gonna get Haku to be my fourth wife, that's all, Naruto responded with a shrug. Flashback Icaracus 1 month ago. Hey Naruto-kun, what would you and your teammates like today? The young ramen waitress asked as she looked at him and what she assumed were his teammates enter the stand. Not sure about them, but snap. Max irresistibility check. Max protective father resistance check. Snap. How would you like to be my third wife? Because with cooking skills and a body like yours, this future Hokage will take you for the ride of your life. He was successful clock blocked by a sarcastic remark from his teammate who finished his statement. Suddenly everyone stopped. Birds died, and puppies cried, and Kakashi met up with the other Jounins on time. As this was going on, Sasuke actually took a step back while looking at her pink-haired teammate with a stare that obviously said, why would you do that? Sakura, shut the fuck up. I don't even have to look to know that was you. Naruto yelled while look everybody at Sakura. Would you like me to take you back to the forest of death with those broken-ass kunai? Would you like that, bitch? That day many pedestrians and ninjas alike who bore witness to that scene vowed to never cock-block Naruto. Ever. I am started. Sorry about that. As I was saying, would you like to get some dango with me later? Naruto asked as he acted like he didn't just flip the fuck out. I'll think about it. She responded honestly. Flashback end. Sakura shuddered while Sasuke suddenly took up a thoughtful expression. What did you mean by third wife, Naruto? I know about Akane, but who's the second? Please, we both know you can't resist my 1337 skills, so I might as well count you as wife number 2. Naruto said in an amused tone. I am even going to agree to be your third. Sasuke yelled in exasperation, while Naruto and Akane, in his seal, smirked. I don't know, but by calling her third means you've accepted my proposal, so. Naruto yelled while pointing dramatically at her. Kid, you've got no game. Tazuna shook his head. Game? What you know about the game, old man? Brat, I invented the game. Game recognizes game, old man, and you unfamiliar as fuck right now. This went on for another 20 minutes before Naruto stopped and threw a kunai at a bush. Naruto waited about 30 seconds before yelling duck and hitting the dirt with Tazuna. A large blade embedded itself into a tree with a man standing on the handle, but before he could speak, holy shit, it's MC Hammer, what the fuck? You're not even in this damn universe, let alone this game. Naruto yelled at the swordsman, causing everyone to give him what the fuck looks. Kid, you need to stop playing so many games, life is not a game. But I suppose it doesn't matter because after Kakashi is dead, I'm killing you next for that remark. Hell, I don't even know who that is, but you calling me that just pissed me off. Zabuza said while glaring at the blonde. Whatever, Baka. Kakashi-sensei is way too pro to lose to you. Sakura yelled in support of her sensei, who I smiled at her as he closed his book and revealed his sharing an eye. Well, after such praise, how could I lose? About 15 minutes later. Son of a bitch, Kakashi, you complete and utter noob. I told you what would happen if you got into the water. Naruto yelled at his sensei that was now trapped in the water prison jutsu. Sometimes I wonder about you Konoha ninjas. I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys are strong. But that's it, nobody acts like a damn ninja, you know, stick to shadows and come up with traps. I mean, look at this. This happened because Kakashi had us in the open instead of having you carry Tazuna with clones and take to the trees and hide, you know. Like ninjas, hell, you're still wearing orange for fuck's sake. Naruto rolled his eyes at her rant while opening up his guide. Chapter 3, Part 1, Zabuza Fight Half. Opponent Zabuza Mamachi. Stats 45, Horsepower 35,000 Chakra. Abilities, Hidden Mist Technique, Water Clone, Silent Killing, Water Prison, Great Waterfall Technique, Water Dragon Bullet Technique, Expert Swordsmanship. Advise, release Kakashi as soon as possible with a Shadow Shuriken technique, then let him finish it until Pseudo Hunter Nin arrives. Well then, Sakura. Naruto called as he got her attention, you're fighting him, good luck. Why am I fighting him? Sakura yelled at her teammate who held up his book. Because according to this you won't do anything worth mentioning for a few years, so now you're gonna make up for it. So hurry up. He told her. Snap. Move transfer. Ultimate Ninja Force Special. Sakura Haruno. Would you like to give this ability to player 3? Yes. Snap. Hugh Naruto asked one. Strong in strike. Suddenly Sakura's body ignited as she was covered by a blue flame with Naruto yelling at her. There, I helped you out. Now finish him before it ends. He instructed her as she nodded and began to charge towards Zabuza, who looked amused. Tell you what, Brad, I'll let you get this free hit, it won't do. He was caught off as the punch seemingly sent him and the girl into another dimension that could best be described as a barren wasteland. and he was unable to move any part of his body. Too bad Sakura wouldn't have problem moving him. In Sakura's special, "I'm not going to make this easy." Sakura then proceeded to punch him 5 miles away while then ran ahead of him and kicked him before he could land. Zabuza felt his ribs break from the kick. Final blow. This is it. Suddenly everything turned black and Zabuza thought it was finally all over. That poor fool. Suddenly the same pink-haired girl slowly began to stand up, and when he looked around he could tell he was in the same wasteland. The girl's heart. "I'll show you something." Sakura yelled at him as he could only watch in morbid fascination as a giant gray version of the girl appeared behind her. "Please, for the love of God, stop please," he yelled as he frantically tried to move away, but to his dismay he was still stuck. In speaking from the heart came the battle cry from the giant Sakura as it punched him, shattering the scenery, sending him another few miles back. "You should be nice to girls, noob," Sakura said while smiling in the direction she punched him. "Oh my fucking god, please tell me it's over," Zabuza cried as he coughed up more blood. He then noticed that he was standing up and began to cry tears of joy, until he looked around. Fuck, I'm still here, why, what have I done to you? You crazy ass bitch. You have problems," Zabuza yelled frantically. He turned to see the same little pink-haired girl standing in front of him smiling. He began to weep. "Here I go," she yelled as she punched the ground, sending him and the debris flying through the sky. Through the corner of his eye he could see her jumping from rock to rock before charging at a large boulder that was directly in front of him. He then saw her punch through the boulder and into him, and the force behind it sending him into a mountain. The force of impact made a giant crater in the side of the mountain. "I'm not done yet," Sakura stated while panting. If he could still see he would have cried even harder than he was. Outside the special. "Where did they go, Naruto?" Sasuke yelled as she saw her teammate and the missing nin disappear after the punch. Even Kakashi, now free of the prison, was searching for them. "They're in a different dimension right now." What Sakura did was called an Aogi, also known by noobs as a special. What it does is send someone into another dimension, leaving that person who they put there to be victim of all the insane shit they can think of. Naruto said before noticing a crack in the sky. "Here they come now. 500,000. Zabuza defeated. Trophy unlocked. Pink destruction. Plus 700,000 Ryu. Bonus content unlocked. Swordsman of Mist Naruto avatar. Player can now switch into the Swordsman of Mist avatar, giving him control of all 7 blades. Can only be unlocked by defeating Zabuza without taking any damage. He'll have to check out this avatar thing later," Naruto thought as he saw a small orb that contained a miniature him surrounded by 7 blades float into his body. Zabuza's near-lifeless body was now just lying on the ground face down while Sakura landed next to him, but before she could finish the job a masked nin came and began to pick him up. "Thank you for your help, but I'll take care of him now." Haku tried to remain calm and was about to leave until, "Hey, could I interest you in a cup of coffee at this old guy's place?" Naruto said as he approached the stupefied hunter nin as Sasuke and Akane rolled their eyes. "What?" Haku couldn't help but ask. "Well, your voice says that you are a very hot female, and your skills clearly show you're not a noob if you're a hunter nin at your age. So why not?" he asked as he began to kiss her hand. "Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Pro at your service." Haku then left in a shunshin while Naruto narrowed his eyes. "She's an enemy," he said, getting startled looks from his teammates and Tazuna. "How can you tell?" Kakashi asked Naruto, whose narrowed gaze was still aimed at the place the hunter nin left. "Simple, she didn't say yes." "At Tazuna's house." "So what do we do now?" asked Sakura as Team 7 sat around the table in the living room. "We train," Kakashi told his students, who looked at him with absolute mirth. "Oh man, I thought you were serious. I mean, come on." Sakura beat his ass. "I'm pretty sure we don't need to train," Sasuke told her sensei as Sakura looked away embarrassed. "I say we raid Gado's headquarters and take his money," Naruto told his team, who looked thoughtful. "But we don't know where it is," Kakashi told the blonde as Naruto got a thoughtful expression. "True, but I can find out. I'll just use my new summon to get information," Naruto explained as he pulled out a blue orb with a female version of him trapped in the center. Flashback. "Okay, Konohamaru, you want to know how to beat your grandfather? Well, I'll teach you," Naruto told the small brown-haired kid in front of him, who started jumping up and down in joy. "But I'll only explain once, so listen up. Focus your chakra around your body and try to focus it in the form of a female. Then release it, and if you can do it correctly, I'll even teach you another jutsu. However, if you cannot, then you can never bother me again." Naruto was inwardly smirking because he knew that a brat who probably didn't understand what a female was would be unable to use the jutsu. Sexy jutsu. Poof. Naruto looked up, prepared to laugh his ass off, but instead found himself propelled into a river from a nosebleed. "Son of a bitch. How? That's nearly better than mine, what the fuck?" Holy shit, he even added a thong. What the hell has this kid seen? Naruto thought frantically as he looked at possibly the hottest human female he's ever seen. Hidden summon. Naruto has been unlocked. Player can summon her to get information via seduction or summon her to help in combat. Must teach Konohamaru the sexy jutsu on first try. What the fuck, Kono, how did you do that? Naruto yelled at his pseudo-student, who shrugged. I saw one of Grandpa's dirty magazines. Now how about that other jutsu? Kono asked with an evil grin. Flashback end. Safe to say Naruto also gained the hidden character Rasengan Konohamaru that day as well, much to Naruto's annoyance. Naruto channeled chakra into the orb and crushed it, and suddenly a tear in the air appeared. And Naruto came falling down from her own dimension. What the fuck? Where am I, and why do I have the sudden urge to do whatever the person responsible for sending me here wants? Came the confused voice of the female Naruto, who was looking at a room full of people giving her looks of disbelief. She didn't recognize any of them until she saw Sasuke. You bitch, I'm bringing you back to Konoha now. And with that, the girl lunged at a confused as fuck Sasuke, and what followed could only be described as the greatest catfight ever. About 30 minutes later, we now find our heroes in a room with two nearly naked Kunoichi, a pissed Sakura and Tsunami, and an unconscious Naruto, Tazuna, and Inari. Kakashi kept reading his book. Now that you settled down, I think it's time for me to explain something. Naruto, was it? At her nod, Kakashi continued. That Sasuke is not your Sasuke. You are in another dimension where we will need your help with something. Before he could continue, an annoying little troll cut him off. That ass. It doesn't matter what you do. Inari yelled at them. Gaddis is too strong. You know nothing about suffering. Suddenly the members of Team 7, excluding Naruto, blanched, having an idea of what Naruto had to go through, and by extension what Naruto more than likely went through too. Before Naruto could yell at the little noob, the voice of someone she didn't realize was in the room interrupted her. You little NOOB. Naruto yelled while everyone else besides Naruto face-faulted, thinking he was about to go on an angsty rant about his childhood. I know nothing about suffering. Let me tell you something, you're a noob and borderline cannon fodder in the grand plotline called Naruto. You have no purpose besides bitching at impossibilities until I have to prove you wrong, and I guarantee you'll have to deal with at least 6 more people like you, so you don't know about suffering, because that's what I have to deal with for the rest of my life. Calm do. Kakashi was cut off as Naruto continued. Besides Player 2, Player 3, Sasuke and Sakura twitched at being called that, and a certain vixen. I am surrounded by noobs. Kakashi twitched at not being added on list, and in a world full of noobs, being a pro is a lonely life. Naruto started to tear up before he was caught in a hug by his fellow blonde. There, it'll be okay. I know how you feel. Don't worry, I'll make you feel better. Come on, how about we go train? Would you like that? At his silent nod, she dragged him out the room, much to the annoyance of Sasuke, who didn't understand why, leaving a room of people who could only stare at the door in shock. Did that really just happen? Kakashi couldn't help but ask. Shut the fuck up, noob sensei. And with that, Sasuke stomped upstairs to her and Sakura's room. In a forest. So you're from an alternate version of this timeline where everyone is an opposite gender? Naruto asked Naruto, who had a thoughtful expression on her face. Except Kyuubi, she's still a female. Guess the same rules don't apply to demons. Naruto answered him while she looked at the sky. But how close are the timelines exactly? Naruto asked her with curiosity evident in his voice. Well, I can tell you that I'm on New Game Plus in the Shippuden era again. When she saw his look of disbelief, she held up her left hand that had a sky blue ring on the middle finger along with a shark-shaped crystal on top of it. WWW, what is that? Naruto cursed himself for stuttering in the presence of probably the most 1337 female he'll ever meet. She smirked at that. The kid had potential, but he was still too inexperienced with the game. Remembering that he asked her a question, she responded. This is called the Game Shark. It's my universe's version of your action replay, she answered him. Then she noticed that he seemed to have made a decision to himself as he nodded his head at something she assumed his Kyuubi told him. She then saw him step in front of him and kneel on the ground. But before she could question it, he started talking. Baby, how would you feel to be my 5th wife? He asked her with complete seriousness as she looked at him with wide eyes. What the hell? I mean, sure, he has potential to be as pro as me someday ... and I'm not interested in anyone back home. She thought to herself before she heard Kyuubi snicker in the back of her mind. Come on, Kit, you know you want to. Besides, it might be more interesting than going through your life a 3rd time. Maybe this time you'll be able to beat Madara even if it isn't in your home universe. Oh, what the hell? Why not? She thought as she came to a conclusion. Sure, why not? After this wave arc, I'll come back when I finish my game again. But that doesn't mean you can't summon me if you need help. You are me after all. I'll help you no matter what, and that's a promise of a lifetime. T-Tebane. she said before she could stop herself from saying her verbal tick. She turned around to hide her embarrassment. Well, now I bet he thinks I'm a noob. Before she could continue her thoughts, he interrupted her with a yell. Alright, I knew I had game, T-Tabeo. Suddenly he stopped his dance as she looked at him with wide eyes. After a moment of silence, they both broke out into laughter until two loud familiar voices yelled at the same time. One voice was loud and masculine while the other was just as loud, but feminine, and they spoke in perfect unison. Hidden Platinum Trophy unlocked. Forbidden Lovers player must capture the heart of their alternate self. Tag Jutsu ability unlocked. Players can now combine jutsus with each other for devastating results. Tag Jutsu unlocked. Filler move, Naruto Shippuden Movie 4, The Lost Tower, Super Rasengan unlocked. They both just looked at each other before laughing again. Well, let's go to sleep. We have a pseudo hunter nin to catch when they wake us up, Naruto said while Naruto nodded his head. Hey, Naruto started asking Nada while they got comfortable on the forest floor. Naruto asked, signaling her to continue. Is your Haku a boy or a girl? We now find our favorite blonde hero walking down the road back to Konoha while dragging an unconscious Zabuza behind him. Next to him was Sasuke, who was talking to Haku, and on the other side of him were Sakura, who was singing along to the background music, and Kakashi, who was reading his book. You do realize that you and Naruto will go to hell for what you did to Haku, right? Came the matter-of-fact voice of Akane. Like it was our fault Haku decided to be a fucking trap. Naruto thought angrily as Akane sighed. Naruto told you that in her world Haku was a very masculine female. Akane yelled in exasperation. That obviously should have told you that your Haku would be a very feminine male. Well, it's too late now. Besides, look, Haku seems happier now, and Sasuke is happy that she has someone who can relate to her, Naruto said while cringing at his noob mistake of not listening to his pro-er self. Flashback bridge. Okay, thank God Naruto volunteered to bodyguard Tsunami, and Inari, I didn't want to show up late to the boss battle like a noob, Naruto commented as he and his team walked onto the bridge. So what's the plan? Player 1 Sama Sakura asked as she started trying to tape record the background music. Glad to see Sakura's taking the whole life is nothing but a game about Naruto thing better than the rest of us, Kakashi said while putting away his book. May you will too once something so incredibly bizarre happens to you that you'll have no choice but to accept it, Sasuke said before looking down and sniffling. I miss Mighty. She was cut off by Naruto, who started yelling his team the plan. The plan is to get to the bridge and leave the close range stuff to me. Sakura, you'll be in charge of healing me, and Sasuke, you'll provide long range support for me while also keeping Haku away from me until I deal with Zabuza, Naruto told player 2 and player 3 before turning to stare at Kakashi. What should I do? Kakashi said as the mist started to appear, signaling the beginning of the Zabuza boss battle. Since at the moment you are our default player 4, you'll be the one defending Tezuna while we have all the fun, Naruto said as Kakashi looked ready to object and remind them that he was in fact the sensei of the group. Naruto, do I have to remind you that I am the leader here? Kakashi asked while Sasuke and Sakura just looked at him while holding back laughter. Noob sensei, you lost that position after you got caught by a water prison after we told you what would happen, and stayed in there despite you having a lightning chakra nature, and could have probably not only bust out but could have also electrocute Zabuza in the process, Sakura told her sensei. But before he could respond, Sasuke continued. Not only that, but let 3 12-year-olds continue on this A-class mission alone instead of calling for backup or turning back to the village while telling Tezuna to go fuck himself, she said while looking at said bridge builder. And don't think we're not getting paid for an A-class either, you old fuck. We're getting our money, you can believe that. What part of you is 12? Kakashi asked while looking at the physically 16-year-old raven-haired female. Anyway, Sakura, what's our chance of survival? Naruto asked while Zabuza and Haku came into view. Suddenly Sakura pulled out a calculator and responded. We have a 99.99, repeating of course, % chance of kicking ass, she told her teammate while putting the calculator back into a scroll. That's better than what we would have had before, Naruto said while pulling out his Swordsman of the Mist avatar. Things would go smoothly, but of course shit always got in his way. Alright, let's do this, Kakashi, the eye headache, our favorite sensei yelled while jumping into the mist, leaving behind a wide-eyed Team 7 plus Tezuna. Sasuke couldn't help but whisper in morbid fascination. Oh my god, he just ran in. Shit, stick to plan, Naruto yelled while turning into his avatar and grabbing Samehada before following his sensei with Sakura and Sasuke right behind him. In the fog, Kakashi was on his 69th combo, but before he could reach 70, Zabuza was batted away from him by a shark skin sword with a blonde holding it. CCC combo breaker. Damn it, Kakashi. If you finished that combo you would have let yourself open to an attack. Him trying to beat this noob while taking no battle damage, damn it. Naruto yelled at his teacher, who looked away embarrassed. See, this is why you're player 4, Sasuke told him before catching Haku and Tsukiyomi. When she turned around, she noticed Zabuza getting up and charging at Sakura, who was putting on her gloves. Sasuke just shook her head. You just don't learn, do you? Sakura asked while igniting herself in a blue flame and charging at Zabuza, sending them both into another dimension. In the special, Zabuza started to yell when he noticed where he was, again, before the pink-haired demon punched him away. On bridge. Well, since we basically won, Sasuke, how about I show you that being female isn't so bad when you're friends with Naruto started but was successfully cock-blocked by a pudgy old man and his band of bandits. Well, look at this. Zabuza couldn't take care of a group of Kid Gadu's trolling was interrupted by the most killing intent Kakashi has ever felt, and it wasn't even aimed at him. Motherfucker, you did not just cock-block me, you fucking non-1337 NOOB. ARGGG, Naruto yelled while being surrounded by the Crimson Demon Fox's cloak and charging at him with Kiba, one of the 7 swordsman's swords if you don't read manga, in both of his hands. About 302 corpses later, we're late, not that it would have mattered anyway, came a voice over the bridge as everyone turned to see a familiar 16-year-old blonde with whisker marks. Seems the kid had more potential than we thought. Enraged on your first try and wave didn't cause this much damage, Kyuubi told her host, who seemed as bewildered as her. What happened? She asked her younger male self. Can't that noob pant cock blocked me, Naruto explained as he sat down against a rail on the bridge that wasn't covered by blood as Naruto nodded in understanding. Dumbass won't make that mistake again, Akain and Kyuubi unknowingly thought at the same time. Suddenly Inari started walking towards Naruto, who looked at him in confusion. I'm sorry for what I said earlier, Naruto, Inari said while Naruto chuckled and smiled, signaling that he had forgiven him already. Do you think I can be as pro in 1337 as you one day? Inari asked innocently. No, but I guess you'll be damn close, newer pro in training. Inari smiled at that. About 20 minutes later, Haku opened his eyes to find himself in the middle of an argument. Boy, girl, what proof do you have to back up your claim? While it would explain why we didn't have coffee, the strategy guide doesn't tell. Naruto yelled at his female counterpart, who just shook her head. Don't you remember? My world is full of people the opposite gender, so if my Haku was a female, yours must be a male. She yelled at her younger male self. But, in both of our worlds, Haku could have lied. He yelled as Naruto gasped at not ever having come to that conclusion. UGHH, this is so confusing. Naruto yelled while grabbing her pigtails. Haku thought it was time he ended this. Excuse me, but he was cut off as he heard a snap followed by a satisfied Naruto smiling and a Naruto whose eyes were open in shock. What did you just do? She asked frantically. I just activated the no trap cheat, so we won't have to deal with this ever again. I will not perv after another dude, you can believe that, Titebeo, Naruto said while nodding his head in satisfaction. Even I can't believe you did that, Naruto said as she shook her head before looking at Haku with pity. I suggest you check if you didn't lose something, and gain 2 other things, she told the pseudo-hunter nin, who grew pale before looking down. KYA, the now female hunter nin shrieked as Sasuke put a hand on her shoulder in support. Don't worry, the hormones will make it easier to adapt, Sasuke told Haku despondently. In going to hell aren't I? Naruto asked to nobody, but got answer anyway. Yep, Akain sighed. Gold trophy unlocked, Hero of Wave, Ryu plus 1 million, Great Naruto Bridge unlocked. Hidden characters unlocked, Zabuza plus Fem Haku. Bingo book status unlocked, must get a perfect victory in Zabuza boss battle, rank A, insert name. Yes, name, Naruto smirked player 1. Flashback end. Oh well, it'll be a little more quiet now without Naruto here. Naruto thought Akain had to admit, like Naruto, the kick grew on you after a while. Hell, even Sasuke seemed a tad sad after her departure back to her world. Well, look at it this way, you can summon her again when you need it, and she'll be back when she finishes her game, Akain told him as they approached the gates to Konohagakure. Chunin exam arc begin. Yes, we now find our heroes walking toward where they figured they'd meet the Suna Shinobi when suddenly Naruto asked a very interesting question. Yo Sasuke, why do you wanna fight your bro? I mean, you know he is innocent. After looking at the guide to find out if you ever beat him, Sasuke just shrugged and looked at him with complete seriousness. Not only did he call me a noob before putting me in Tsukiyomi, he also took the last Klondike bar before he left. The asshole, she muttered angrily with her sharing and eyes flashing before calming herself. But think of all the good he did. Not only did he stop a civil war, but he also made that song to warn pros about the dangers of fangirls, Naruto informed as she looked at him thoughtfully. Flashback. Excuse me, this is for all the pros out there that have to deal with a certain plague. called fangirls. Itachi shuddered before picking up the microphone. They are climbing in your windows, snatching yo clansmen up. So you gotta hide yo sons, hide yo men. Hide yo sons and hide yo men. Hide yo sons and hide yo men. And hide yo girlfriends too, cause they raping up everybody out here. Flashback end. That was your brother. No wonder we could never sneak into your house through your windows, Sakura said thoughtfully before jumping at Naruto's sudden movement as he yelled at a square rock. Damn it, Kono. You're supposed to be my legacy. How you can disappoint me with that sad excuse of a disguise. Sorry boss, but it's not like we all have max ninja skills. My hiding is only LVL 2/10. Anyway, I was wondering if you wanted to play a mini game with us, Konohamaru said sheepishly while gesturing at his two companions. He suddenly looked at the rest of Team 7 with a mischievous grin. Hey, are these two your women? Not bad boss, not bad. Kono continued while bumping fists with his idol. Not just the black-haired one, even if she is still trying to deny it, he said while scratching the back of his head while Sasuke just h-end and turn away. She needs to be more honest with herself, boss. Yup. Okay, but what about the pink-haired one? She a fangirl? Kono asked while shuddering. Nah, she's just my homie, that's all, Naruto said while high-fiving Sakura, who returned to listening to the music. If she does seem a little on the manly side anyway, Kono said while Naruto facepalmed. Damn it, Kono, what's pro self-preservation rule number 1? Don't insult girls who could kick your ass. Oh, Kono replied with wide eyes before hauling ass around the corner with Sakura right behind him before he ran into somebody as Sasuke, Naruto, Udon, and Mogi arrived to the scene. Damn it, Naruto, didn't you use the no-trap cheat? Sasuke asked while staring at a makeup-wearing thing in pajamas. Naruto was looking at our favorite puppet master with a solemn expression. That's no trap, that's a cross-dressing pervert, he told her as what he assumed what was Temari began to snicker. I'm no pervert, this is war paint, damn it. Kankuro yelled hysterically while letting the boy go while reaching for the bundle on his back. Oh, good for you, noob. Not only do you attack the Hokage's grandson, but now you're going to start a fight in the middle of another village that could get your fine-ass teammate hurt in the crossfire once the ANBU come down on your ass, Naruto said sarcastically, taking note of Temari's blush as he finished his rant. Who do you think you are? Kankuro yelled at the blonde-haired boy in front of him. Me I think I'm the son of the Yondaime, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Kitsune, and I am player 1. So shut the fuck up, noob, Naruto yelled while Kankuro and Temari grew pale at the fact he held the Kyuubi. Damn straight they better recognize. Akane snickered inside of the seal. Now, Naruto began as he looked at a tree. Yo mister, one get down here so I can fix your seal, I can't have you getting in my way, Naruto told Gaara, who teleported in front of his team with his eyes slightly wider than normal. What do you plan to do with my seal? Gaara drawled while Sakura looked at him with wide eyes. Oh my god, he's Imo, and I bet he has a tragic backstory. He will be mine, Sakura thought while giggling, causing Gaara to get a chill up his spine and everyone to look at her funny while Sasuke facepalmed. So she goes from me to a psychopath, Sasuke thought while pointedly ignoring the voice in her head that said she was close to going berserk too if it wasn't for her surprise sex change. What makes you think I'll let you near my seal? Gaara said while looking at Naruto, who was giving him an amused look. Nothing, I just did it while you looked at Sakura. Remembering something he read from Gaara's bio in the guide, he added, have fun sleeping tonight. Noob, come on, let's go meet Kakashi at the training ground so we can get our waivers for the exams, Sasuke told her team while walking away while Sakura gave one last wink at Gaara, who looked at Team 7 with wide eyes and actually allowed himself to gape a little bit as he noticed he couldn't hear the demon's voice anymore. And Naruto looked at him before remembering something. Hey, you should go to Icaracus when you're hungry, but don't hit on the waitress there, I'd hate to have to hurt you, Naruto said while running off with his team, leaving behind a shell-shocked Suna team. Temari could only utter one thing before collapsing to her knees with a blush. Pro. Silver trophy unlocked. Breaking through the sand. Kazekage Gaara unlocked. Can only be used after Shippuden. Gaara secret jutsu unlocked. Shield of Sand version. Karura his mother. At the first exam room, our heroes now find themselves standing in room 302 while the rest of the rookies walked up to greet them. Hey, looks like all the rookies are here, Kiba yelled while Hinata rolled her eyes. Speak for yourself and Team 10, but I for one am not a noob, Hinata told her teammate while Shino nodded his head. Oh hey Hinata, no hard feelings. Abu Naruto was cut off by a Juuken blow to the stomach. He groaned in pain on the ground before noticing Hinata was offering to help him up. He smirked and grabbed her hand. No, there are no hard feelings, but that was for basically calling me a noob. Not cool, Hinata said while helping her former crush off of the ground while Sasuke smirked. I knew one day your past would come back to bite you in the ass, Sasuke told her teammate while the other rookies looked at her in confusion. Hey, who are you? Where is my Sasuke-kun? Ino yelled at the raven-haired beauty in front of her while the other males started undressing her with their eyes, until Naruto glared at them. I am Sasuke was about to tell the blonde-haired noob in front of her that she was the former Uchiha heartthrob before she was cut off by her blonde teammate. Oh, how she hated blondes sometimes. Why couldn't Itachi get rid of them instead? Sasuke, Uzumaki, Namikaze, Naruto told their fellow Konoha shinobi while everyone else gaped at her putting two and two together. Okay, she really hated blondes. Yup, she's my second wife. He continued while everybody else gaped some more. Sasuke swore she would get revenge for this one day, but she caught on to what he was trying to do. Yes, I'm Sasuke Uzumaki Namikaze. She cringed at the name. Meanwhile in hell, why is it so fucking cold all of a sudden? Back in room 302, I'm Sasuke's replacement after he went missing nin trying to obtain power, she stated while the ninja from her class gasped. Suddenly a random Kyusa Kunoichi started yelling curses while stomping out of the room, making Team 7 sigh in relief, which went unnoticed by everyone but Shikamaru. Of course. No, not my Sasuke, you liar. Ino yelled while trying to wipe away tears. You guys should keep it down, a gray-haired ninja said while walking up to them. Cue scene of explaining ninja info cards. Give me data on Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, she stated while all of the Iwanins started to glare at Naruto, who, in turn, glared at Sasuke. Sasuke just shrugged off the glare. They're cannon fodder, it's not like you ever see them again, Sasuke told him as he relaxed his glare. Let's see Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. It says he is the son of Yondaime Hokage Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto, like his mother, also became a Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Naruto has completed 47 D rank missions, 1 solo B rank, and an A rank. He has an A rank listing in the bingo book going by the name Player 1. Kabuto flinched before getting punched through the window by an irate Sakura and getting struck down by a Chidori spear by Sasuke. Dude, you noob, you are such a fucking spy, it's not even funny, Naruto said while shaking his head while everyone else stared at his pink-haired homie and pseudo-wife in disbelief. Kabuto defeat. Platinum trophy unlocked. Preventing a zombie invasion. Plus 30 million Ryu, plus ninja info cards, plus 1 life can be obtained by defeating a hard boss. Well, guess Konoha ninjas aren't tree huggers like we thought, seeing how easily they killed an ally. One incredibly pale Karin said to her teammate that nodded shakily. Alright maggots, listen up, Ibiki yelled, signaling the start of the written exam. Having just entered the room with the Chunin, he saw nothing of what just happened. Couple hours later. Alright, the proctor for the second exams is here. The beautiful and sexy Ankomitarashi. Our favorite Chunin exam proctor yelled before crashing through the window and looking around. But before she could comment on how many teams were left, a voice interrupted her. Damn girl, where did you get all of that? Everyone turned to see a grinning Naruto looking her up and down. But before she could neuter the little brat in front of her, another voice shook her out of her thoughts. You're early again, Anko. Ibiki sighed while she scratched her head sheepishly. Okay, you brats, meet me at training ground 44 for the second stage of the Chunin exams, she yelled while hopping out of the window. Team 7 shrugged and the 2 female members grabbed onto Naruto, who transformed into his golden fox cloak and flashed out of the room, leaving a group of gaping shinobis behind them. About 45 minutes later, and soon you'll figure out why it is called the Forest of Death. Anko finished her speech while handing out the waivers while Naruto rolled his eyes. Rayig, this noob excuse of a mini dungeon couldn't kill shit, Naruto complained while he finished citing his name. Suddenly he found himself with a gash on the right side of his face with a very sexy Kunoichi licking up the blood, much to Sasuke's annoyance. Brats like you are going to be the first ones to die, she said while Naruto smirked at his chance to get more content. You better savor every moment of this, cause you're going to be begging me to go to your house for some coffee after I enter the forest, he told her seriously before grabbing his team's scroll and throwing it to Karin, who looked shocked. There, take that, you'll need it more than we will, and make sure you head directly to the tower, he told her while turning his back toward her and started walking towards his annoyed team. His chakra, it's so warm ... and huge, Karin thought as she became weak in the knees as she watched him walk away. Any reason why you did that, Naruto-kun? Sasuke hissed at Naruto, who smirked and unsealed his key items scroll and pulled out a pair of heaven and earth scrolls. Because Sasuke-chan. Sasuke resisted the urge to Chidori him right then and there. We didn't need another pair, he told her while walking into the forest and transforming to take him and his party to the tower. With Anko. Anko was sitting down watching the teams leave when she noticed a note in her pocket. Furious Anko began to read it, and what she read caused tears to begin to pour down her face. Hey, when you were grabbing onto me I noticed an ugly tattoo on your neck, so I got rid of it with my pro sealing skills. Oh well, hope you kick the guy's ass who gave you that ugly tattoo. Stay 1337 Naruto. Suddenly Anko stopped crying and remember what he told her earlier. Son of a bitch, he was right. Well, I wonder how he likes his coffee, she thought with a smirk. Shunin exam arc part 1 of 3 cleared. Silver trophy unlocked. Freeing the Snake Mistress. Support character unlocked. Anko Midarashi. Avatar unlocked. Snake Summoner Naruto. Poison Mastery learned. Gold trophy unlocked. Healing Mistress. Support character Karin. +1 Kusanin headband player can now gain access to Grass Country. Avatar unlocked. Sensor Naruto. Regeneration speed increased from members of the party. Flashback 10 minutes ago. Poof. How the hell are you here already? Aruka yelled while trying to release a genjutsu. It didn't work. After spending 8 hours fighting 8 feet tall spiders here, you tend to learn where the only means of shelter is in the forest of death. Sakura told the gapping Chunin while fighting back a shiver. Also, we're just that awesome. Naruto finished while fist-bumping Sasuke, who had the trademark Uchiha smirk on her face, which was damn hot on a female Uchiha. Fastest team record broken. Hiraishin Kunai version unlocked. Flashback end. We now find our heroes sitting in the tower completely bored out of their minds while waiting for the 5 days to end. Son of a bitch. Naruto yelled at nobody in particular while Sasuke just shook her head. I can't believe that we have to wait another 4 days, 23 hours, and 40 minutes before we can do anything worth mentioning again. I told you that doing this would be a bad idea. Now we have to wait for the rest of the teams to get here. Sasuke told her teammate while sitting against the wall. Yeah, I know, but I just wish there was a way to pass the time. Naruto said sadly before coming to conclusion. Fuck it, I'm going trawlin', Naruto said while getting up. I'm going to go PWN some noobs. He continued, turning around and beginning to walk toward the exit before being jumped on by Sakura. No, you can't, we promised we wouldn't be those type of pros. She yelled at her party leader while dragging him back toward the wall that they had occupied. But it's so damn boring, he yelled desperately while Sasuke looked at him in amusement. Well, that's fine and all, but what are you gonna do? It's not like someone is just going to pop up and answer your prayers, she said while rejoicing that in some way karma was coming back to get the blonde for what he did to her. Is what she thought until, poof, my, you're already here. I knew you were special. One very familiar purple-haired exam proctor said while sauntering her way over to Naruto, who could barely resist the shit-eating grin that was no doubt about to show itself upon his face. Well, you know, that's just how I roll, Naruto said while smirking as she hooked her arm around his while Sasuke was gritting her teeth. How about you show me which flavor coffee you enjoy at my house? She asked Naruto. When he nodded, they both disappeared in a swirl of leaves, leaving behind an exasperated Sakura and a Sasuke, who just put her fist through a wall. Son of a bitch. Nobody is that fucking lucky, Sasuke shouted to nobody in particular as Sakura just shook her head. Are you sure that's the only reason you are upset? Sakura asked slyly to a confused as hell Sasuke. What do you mean? Sasuke asked, genuinely confused. I mean, are you sure you aren't jealous? Sakura asked with a teasing smile on her face. Sasuke just scoffed and was about to perform the brood no jutsu when Sakura asked her something else. Sai, why don't you quit lying to yourself so that you can make things easier? Sakura asked her friend, who looked at her scandalized. Damn it, Sakura, I like women. And Naruto, she said as she shook her head at her friend's denial. But I'm a boy. You were a boy, but pretty soon that alternate form will be your default form, and the hormones fucking with your brain will make you think and feel like a woman, Sakura told Sasuke, who was now pale as a sheet. So what do I do now? Sasuke yelled hysterically at her teammate, who smiled warmly at her. You let me explain the mechanics of the female body, because you haven't had to deal with the biology of that form of yours yet. And it's about time it begins, she said with a smile that for some reason scared the hell out of Sasuke, and started to advance on her frightened teammate. Now let's Sakura One-san explain something to you. Sasuke's screams echoed throughout the entire forest, scaring noob teams away from the tower. About 5 days later, we now see our favorite blonde entering the stadium. When he saw his team, he began limping his way toward them, and soon came face to face with an overly cheerful Sasuke and a wary Sakura who looked at him with, was that pity? What's up, Goo? He was then tackled to the ground by a hysterical Sakura who was trying to get him as far as possible from their other teammate. Whatever you do, don't get near Sasuke right now, she whispered frantically while looking over her shoulder at Sasuke, who was giving them both a warm smile. But why? She is our teammate Sakura and she's player 2, I can't just ignore her. Naruto tried to explain but Sakura shook her head sadly. No, you don't get it. A day after you left, her transformation finalized and the biology of her new body started to take effect. Sakura said, hoping that he would get the hint. Suddenly inside of the seal, Akane's eyes grew wide as she shouted at her container. Sakura's right, stay away. I want to live, damn it. She yelled at Naruto, who grew even more confused. If you die, I die, remember. When he nodded, she continued, so if you love me, do not get near her. She almost begged at Naruto, who scoffed at her. I can't believe you guys asking me to ignore my teammate. I'm going to talk to her to find out what's going on, and that's that. Naruto yelled while walking towards Sasuke as Sakura shook her head at his stupidity while Akane was reverting back to her old habits and trying to take control of Naruto to get him the fuck away. That poor bastard. What's up, Sasu? Naruto was then forced to dodge a fireball that came from Sasuke, who had the most evil expression you could imagine being on somebody's face. Naruto started to feel like he was in front of player 1 for once. You idiot, can't you tell she is getting her monthly visit? Akane asked as Naruto's eyes suddenly got wide in understanding as Sasuke lunged at him with a feral grin. About 45 minutes later, Platinum Trophy unlocked. Surviving certain death player must live through 3 or more fatal wounds. Party's defense increased. We now find our favorite blonde crying in a corner while the rest of the genin looked at him in confusion while the adult men in the room shook their heads sadly. Except Kakashi, who was laughing his ass off. The troll. Everyone looked at the computer screen once they heard the beeping stop signaling the first match. Sasuke Uchiha vs Yoroi Akado. Everyone besides the Hokage and Team 7 looked in confusion as Sasuke jumped into the arena before turning to the Hokage. The name is Sasuke Uzumaki Namikaze now, she said while everyone excluding Team 7 jaw dropped. Naruto whimpered some more. Noticing the confused look from the Hokage, she told him that since this is Naruto's fault, he has to take responsibility. The Hokage nodded his head while giving his pseudo-grandson and the ninja about to fight Sasuke a pitying look. Sasuke Uzumaki Namikaze vs Yoroi Akado. Sasuke nodded to herself before turning to Akado, who began to smirk at her while shaking his head and began speaking in a smug voice. Maybe after this I can show you how a real man feels, and he was cut off by an electrical hand bursting through his chest and out his back. He was too caught up with his ranting he didn't hear the proctor signal the beginning of the match. Cough, winner Sasuke Uzu whatever Hayate stated while the medics dragged the body away. I forfeit, Karin yelled while everyone gave her curious glances. She blushed and stated that not only was she just a medic, but she didn't even know where the rest of her team was. They could have gotten eaten by a bear for all she knew, since they left her not wanting to trust the scroll they were given by Naruto. Cough, anyone cough else? The sick proctor asked. When nobody raised their hands, he continued with the next match. Everyone was watching the computer except a furious Sound Jounin. Son of a bitch, I missed my chance to give the Uchiha the curse seal. Orochimaru thought angrily. But how did they expect me? Now that I think about it, Kabuto is gone too. Shit, I'll have to call off the invasion. Orochimaru then glared at his former teacher. I'll get you next time, old man, he thought before leaving the arena, claiming he had felt sick. Gold trophy unlocked. Preventing the invasion. Team 7 respect plus 20,000. Now all members of Team 7 will be on good terms with the villagers, allowing ninja goods to be sold at a cheaper price. BGM unlocked. Sadness and sorrow. Players can now listen to different background music. Hidden character unlocked. Saruto by Hiruzen. As Naruto stood up, he couldn't help but smirk at the fact that he saved his pseudo-grandfather. He would have to be sure that he celebrated with his team at an all-you-can-eat ramen extravaganza at Icaracus. After, of course, Sasuke calms down. Zaku Abium vs Shino Aburame. Skip fight. Winner Shino, Hayate said while the Konoha Genin cheered. Nisumi Tsurugi vs Kankuro. Skip fight. Cough, winner Kankuro. Sekira Haruno vs Ino Yamanaka. This should be interesting, Asuma said while glancing at Kakashi. Those two have been rival ever since the academy. Who do you think will win? Kakashi just burst out laughing along with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura as she was walking down the stairs, causing Asuma and Ino to glare at them. Ino then turned to face her rival as they looked at each other and put on a cocky smirk. Begin, Hayate yelled. I hope you're ready for this, forehead, because I'm not going easy on you, Ino told her rival with a smug voice as Sakura started to put on her gloves before lunging at the blonde at a surprising speed. Cherry blossom impact, Sakura yelled while taking a punch at her former friend. Boom. Holy shit, she actually did it, Kakashi yelled frantically while looking through the dust hoping to find the blonde genin alive. Damn it, Sakura, don't kill our allies, Naruto yelled while Sasuke was frantically searching everywhere for Ino as the rest of the ninjas looked on in horror. Don't worry, I didn't kill the noob, Sakura said as everyone gave a sigh in relief that the medics found her. Holy shit. Or I mean winner Sakura. Hey, yelled while trying to keep his composure. Sakura smirked while walking up the stairs back to her team. What have you been teaching your students, Kakashi? Kurenai asked in fear as Kakashi looked at Naruto, who gave him a nod allowing him to gain some street cred. Well, you know, I'm just that pro of a teacher. He smiled at her while opening up his book. Tenten vs. Temari. Skip to end. Before Tenten could hit the ground, she was caught by our favorite blonde who gave a smirk to Temari. Now, no need to cripple the poor girl after you've won. He chided at Temari before looking down at the blushing Kunoichi in his arms. Hey, how would you like to be my 8th wife? He asked her, making her blush increase tenfold. Who the fuck are your 6th and 7th? Damnit. Sasuke yelled at Naruto, who turned and gave her a confused look. Anko and Temari, of course, he replied, causing Kurenai and Temari to face fault and causing Hiruzen to drop his pipe. What the hell? When did that happen? I didn't agree to this. Temari yelled at her apparent fiancé, who looked at her with an amused expression. We both know you will though, he said, causing Sasuke to face fault and making Temari gape at the fact she that in some way that it would happen. Even if they invaded Konoha. Shikamaru Nara vs. Kintsuchi. Skip fight. Damn, Naruto started before getting an idea. Sasuke, train her to be pro so that she can be number 9. Unfortunately for our favorite blonde, he forgot that today Sasuke had very dangerous mood swings, and so it comes to nobody's surprise that he got a chakra and force kick to the balls by his self-proclaimed second wife. Damn it, Naruto, you can't fuck everything that moves. Show some restraint. Sasuke yelled at Naruto, who was about to say that they didn't even have sex yet, but he decided against it and nodded his head. Oh great, he's learning how's that for character development. Hiba and Yuzuka vs. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Oh great, we lucked out, Akamaru. Hiba said to his puppy before Team 7 broke put laughing, causing him and his sensei to get angry. And just what's so funny? Kurenai asked while glaring at the copy, Nin, who was looking at her in amazement. Did you really not see my last 2 students fight? Kakashi asked incredulously as she turned away from him in annoyance. Ready to get beat dope? Hiba sneered at Naruto, who gave him the most deadpan stare anyone has ever given anybody. Dude, I'm going to kick your ass so bad not even my English dub counterpart would be able to believe it. Naruto said while Sakura looked at him in astonishment. Dude, that was cold. That had to be the worst insult she ever heard from her blonde teammate. If you two are ready, begin. Hey, it yelled. Let's go. Akiba suddenly looked around to find himself eating an all too familiar dinner with his mother and sister. What happened? Kiba asked in a panicked voice. Back in the arena. What just happened? Hey, yelled while looking at the unconscious body of Kiba while Naruto looked bored out of his mind. I just knocked him into last week, he'll be back tomorrow, Naruto said while walking up to the balcony. Bronze trophy unlocked, top dog. Character unlocked, Kiba and Yuzuka. Don't say a word, Kakashi. Kurenai almost growled at Kakashi, who just looked away innocently. WWW winner. Naruto. Hey, it yelled. Hinata Hyuga vs. Neji Hyuga. Begin. On the balcony. It's over, Naruto said while looking at Hinata with pride. What do you mean? Don't just doubt my student because you think your stroke. Kurenai was cut off by Naruto, who looked at her like she was crazy. No, I meant it was over for Neji. You're not a seal master, so you didn't see what I saw, Naruto told her while turning his head back to the match. Whatever do you mean, Naruto-kun? Lee asked the blonde in confusion, and Tenten and Guy looked just as confused. Rock Lee right? Naruto asked as the spandex hero nodded his head. Just shut up and watch. In the arena. Give up, Hinata-sama, Neji said with venom. Fate has already decided that I would, Neji yelled in agony as the pain in his forehead erupted with a fierceness that he's never experienced before. Pathetic, Hinata said coldly while holding her hands in the ram sign. You coward, you used the caged bird seal on me, Neji hissed as Hinata chuckled darkly before tossing him a mirror. What's this for? He hissed at her, to which she just pointed to her forehead. Getting the hint, Neji took off his headband in order to look at his seal, and what he saw surprised him. Instead of a green seal with an X in the middle, there was a blue one with an O in the middle. It was then that he noticed Hinata had a matching purple seal on her right hand. I got rid of your seal and added my own. You always kept bitching about your fate, so I decided to do you a favor, Hinata said with a cold smile. You're no longer Fate's bitch, you're my bitch now. She began to chuckle at his surprised face. You see, the only one that can use and remove that seal is me. When did you do this? Neji yelled frantically as he saw Fate being basically destroyed right in front of him. Hinata then turned to him with wide eyes and answered him innocently. When you were sleeping, of course. She giggled. Now go to sleep, noob. Tomorrow I'm going to work you like a dog until you get all of that Fate shit out of your head, and then maybe you'll remove your seal. But I don't know, you and the main branch have been being a bunch of noobs to me. she finished while putting her hands into a ram seal and made Neji pass out from the pain. Hokage-sama, do I have to let this demon pass? Hayate asked while his newfound fear of the girl was preventing him from even coughing in her presence. The Hokage looked at him before sadly nodding. Damn it, winner Hinata Hyuga, Hayate said while stepping back from the girl. On the balcony, oh my god, Kiranai whispered as she saw her pseudo-daughter walk up the stairs with a cheerful smile, while everyone looked at her in fear, except Naruto. Every turned to where they heard sobbing and found Naruto crying hard and using Sasuke as support to stand up. Are you okay? Sasuke asked him. Her mood swings away for now, while looking at her teammate in concern. It's just Sue. Beautiful. Sniff the ascension of noob to pro. Sob, it always gets me, he responded before she punched him in the kidney and threw him off of her. Rock Lee vs. Gaara. Skip to Rock Lee opening gates. This green one. He's strong. I'm not sure if I can beat him without giving myself to my demon, Gaara thought sadly as he realized he might have to break his promise to someone important to him. His first friend. Flashback, third day of waiting for prelims to start. Hey Gaara, how are you feeling? Sakura asked him as he turned to look at her in surprise. I feel better, but weaker at the same time. If I am ever in a life or death situation, I might have to give myself to the demon so I won't lose. Nonsense. Like my friend Haku always says, if you have someone precious to you, only then can you become truly strong, she told him while giving him a smile while he scoffed. I have nobody precious to me, he told her coldly. No friends, and my family is scared of me, he continued while feeling his anger rise. Why couldn't she get it? I'm your friend, and I'm sure your family still loves you. Don't you get it, you noob? It's you who's pushing everyone away. The demon is sealed now, so you can't blame anyone else but yourself. Sakura yelled at Gaara before walking up and smacking him. His eyes grew wide at the unfamiliar feeling. I see, he said softly while Sakura was giving him a look of pure disbelief. Holy shit, the therapy jutsu works. I thought for sure I was going to have to fight him after I smacked him. Looks like Naruto was right. Again, Sakura thought incredulously. Hey, if you want I can get you a BGM. Sakura started as Gaara looked at her in confusion. Well, if you ask me, while precious people are indeed nice, having your own beat to fight to can give you the motivation that you need. She cheered while pulling out Nin Pod. Here, use this and play track 4 if you're ever in danger. You're not alone anymore, so promise me you won't let Shukaku win. And then Gaara looked at her with something in his eyes not unlike the will of the fire, and nodded. I promise. Flashback end. That's it. Suddenly Gaara stood up and pulled out a pink rectangular object and plugged headphones into his ears while everybody looked at him in confusion. On balcony. Hey, Naruto started while looking at Sakura. Isn't that your? Sasuke continued while copying Naruto. Sakura just nodded in pride while looking at Gaara with tears filling her eyes. Back in arena, Gaara found track 4 and pressed play while Lee charged at him. BGM, insert Eddie Raff, Gaara the Sand Assassin. What followed was an ass-kicking so immense that it was beyond the writer's ability to convey the epicness through his vocabulary alone. 3 minutes later, Hayate dug himself from underneath the sand and announced the winner. Winner coughs Sabaku no Gaara, he stated while coughing up more sand. Everyone in the arena was just looking at the sand shinobi in astonishment as he got up and walked towards the balcony where he was glomped by a happy Sakura, much to the surprise of his siblings. Choji Akamichi vs Dasu Kinuda. Skip fight. Winner Dasu, Hayate declared. Skip 25 minutes. Round 1. Hinata Hyuga vs Shino Aburame. Round 2. Sabaku no Gaara vs Sakura Haruno. Round 3. Shikamaru Nara vs Sabaku no Temari. Round 4. Sabaku no Kenkuro vs Dasu Kinuda. Round 5. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze vs Sasuke Uzumaki Namikaze. You're fucked, Akane told her host matter-of-factly. Naruto almost face-faulted. Oh, and why is that? Naruto asked his tenant with benefits, who shrugged. Knowing your luck with hormonal women and the fact that the finals is a month away. I just thought it was the logical conclusion, Akane told Naruto, who went pale. Oh fu. Platinum trophy unlocked. Passing the prelims. Alternate level unlocked. Complete finals. Plus 20 million Ryu. Continue to part 3 of the Chunin exam arc.
So this was it for today. I will continue the story in next part. Till then, we weeb offline.